Good evening, I am Ben Kitilia, the KTN News Center here in Nairobi. Many thanks for joining us this Monday night, the 27th day of February 2017. This edition of Choice 2017 begins right now. Now, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has just completed compiling the voter register. Of course, before that long-awaited edit, and they can boast more than 19.5 million Kenyans who are eligible to vote in the August 8th general election. And since then, political pundits, different political players have been playing with the numbers, trying to analyze which vote belongs to who, and in the process they have been clustering the 47 counties in the Republic of Kenya into NASA counties or Jubilee counties and battleground counties. Now, depending on which analyst you're listening to, the two Maasai land counties of Narok and Kajiado have been clustered as battleground or swing votes. Do you agree with that assertion? If yes, why? On the broadcast tonight, we are discussing the Maasai land vote, which way to go. Of course, against the backdrop of a lot of political realignment in the region. My guests are already in the studio. That is what we shall be discussing here on Choice 2017. For now, let's take a look at the top stories this hour. Let's start what happened in Meru earlier today, where the National Super Alliance leaders did visit another of the so-called Jubilee strongholds in Meru, where they promised to unite Kenyans, saying that they will be going to every part of this country to voters behind their cause.
Sisi tutaangalia soko ya miraa, lakini kwamba wakulima wa miraa wanauza mazao yao. Wao walisema wanatoa shilingi bilioni 1 ati kucushion the miraa farmers. Hiyo bilioni 1 wamliona? Hiyo bilioni 1 inaonekana ati akaunda task force. Hiyo task force imetoa ripoti yake? Haijatoa na haitatoa mpaka jamaa waende nyumbani. Sisi tukishika hatamu mwezi wa Agosti mwaka huu, ndani ya siku 90 mtaona mabadiliko makubwa. Mnaona mambo waliahidi vijana kazi. Mnaona kazi hiyo? Mnaona hiyo kazi?
Mkiona mahali Kalonzo anafika, alafu anakubali kupigwa tear gas, ndugu wa Meru, nataka mjue Kenya imeharibika. Na sasa tumewaleteeni ujumbe mmoja kwamba dunia nzima imegeuka. Ni wakati wa mabadiliko sasa hivi. Juzi wakafanya uchaguzi Nigeria, wakapindua. Wakafanya Nigeria, wakamchagua rais mwingine. Hata Gambia akachaguliwa kule, akakubali kushindwa, lakini baadaye akasema hapana, mpaka aliyemshinda akaenda akaapishwa katika nchi jirani ya Senegal. Mabadiliko yanavuma Afrika nzima. Na nyinyi ndugu wa Meru, nilisoma na wenzenu, ndugu zangu wengine tulisoma darasa moja, Kiraitu Mtamurungi na Kegetobu Imanyana.
Namwambia Kiraitu, wewe ulikuwa ni mwanaharakati wa mageuzi katika taifa la Kenya. We have read you, tumekusoma katika historia. Ukiwa Young Turk, ukiwa wewe ni Young Turk na Paul Mwite na Raila Odinga na James Orengo na kadhalika. Hii nchi Kiraitu.
National Super Alliance leaders taking their vote hand to the county of Meru. And in the county of Nyeri, Deputy Governor Ambassador Wamadhai was sworn in today as the governor for the county of Nyeri for the remaining term in the run-up to the August 2017 general election. Of course, this following the death of Governor Nderitu Gachagua on Friday last week.
My functions in the said office to the best of my judgment, that I shall do justice to all. So help me God. Thank you. Our programs services will continue to run uninterrupted and at the same time keep the momentum initiated and marshaled by our governor. He used to constantly remind us that it is all about the people of Nyeri. He could not allow anything or anybody to come between him and the ordinary wananchi. In the farms or in the business, he always used to remind us that the true impact of our work should be felt by every resident in every corner of our county. We all remember with special admiration his spirited initiatives in coffee, tea, dairy, and other agricultural sectors. We shall continue to support our farmers in their agricultural products, value addition initiatives, and to link them directly to both domestic and global markets for them to realize greater gains for their products.
All right, let's now come to our main discussion of the night, and of course that is in the county of Narok earlier today, where some elected leaders who have since defected from the Jubilee Party to Chama cha Mashinani, that is Isaac Ruto's party, have been wooing voters behind their cause in the county of Narok, of course led by the Narok West Member of Parliament Patrick Ntutu, who is eyeing the Narok gubernatorial seats on a Chama cha Mashinani ticket.
Tutasaidiana na ndugu yangu Mheshimiwa Ole Ntutu kuhakikisha haki yenu imelindwa. Na huko Kenya tutahakikisha tumegawanya rasilimali za nchi ili kuondoa ufukara ambayo imezidi kwa wananchi wa Kenya.
Tarehe 8 ikifika, sisi sote wagonjwa, walemavu, tunaenda kwa polling station, tupeleke wakora nyumbani.
KANU na CCM wanafanya kazi pamoja kulete mabadiliko hapa, hasa kwa bonde la Ufa. Tunataka vile umesikia mapinduzi hapa Narok, tuhakikishe kwamba Ole Ntutu atakuwa governor wenyu mwezi ya 8.
William Samoei Ruto, tunataka kuambia hapa Narok imeenda kwa wenyewe. Hiyo masafari zako za kuzunguka Narok, hiyo matrips yako ya kukuja Narok, uanze kuwind up, kwa sababu wenyewe wamechukua uongozi ya Narok. Kila mtu atafute kura yake. Sisi ile kitu tunataka ikifika kwa ugavana na kwenda mpaka kwa MCA, sio mtu anatoka pahali anatoka anakuja kutuambia ati chagua huyu. Tawezekana kweli?
Now, before my guest and I put this into perspective, let's now bring you a picture of the two counties, that is Narok and Kajiado, what it looks like in terms of the political numbers there according to the 2013 general election. Let's start with the county of Narok. The governor is Samuel Tunai, elected on a URP ticket. The senator is Stephen Tutu, elected on a URP ticket. County women rep is Rosalinda Tuya, elected also on a URP ticket. In terms of the representation in the National Assembly, this is how the county of Narok looks like. A member of parliament for Kilgoris is Gideon Conchela. Member of Parliament for Emurua Dikir, that is Joanna Ngeno, who was just speaking there behind. If you can just go to that slide of the National Assembly. Narok North Member of Parliament is Richard Mositet Ole Kenta, elected on a TNA ticket. Joanna Ngeno elected on a KNC ticket. Narok East Member of Parliament Lemanken Aramat, URP as well. Narok South is Korei Ole Lemien, URP as well. Narok West Member of Parliament Patrick Ole Ntutu, elected on a URP ticket, of course seeking to unseat Governor Tunai on a CCM ticket. In terms of the presidential voting patterns in 2013, Raila Odinga got the majority of the presidential vote, 118 votes, 118,623 votes. That is 50% of the total votes cast in Narok. Uhuru Kenyatta, president on a TNA ticket, of course, 109,413 votes, 46 So 46 and 50%. Does this constitute a battleground vote? Now, in terms of Kajiado County, Governor David Nkedianye elected on an ODM ticket. The Senator is Peter Musitet, elected on a TNA ticket. And the County Human Rep is Mary Senator, elected on a TNA ticket. In terms of the representation in the National Assembly, the members of Parliament in the County of Kajiado North MP is Patrick Manje, elected on a TNA ticket. Kajiado Central is Elijah Memusi Kanchori, elected on an ODM ticket. Of course, after that by-election, after Joseph Nkaiseri was appointed into the cabinet. Kajiado East Member of Parliament, Paris Tobiko, TNA. Kajiado West Member of Parliament is Moses Wale Sakuda, elected on a TNA ticket, as well as Kajiado South MP Kato Ole Metito, also elected on a TNA ticket. So 4 TNA members of Parliament and only 1 ODM member of Parliament in the county of Kajiado. In terms of the voting patterns, presidential voting patterns in 2013 in the county of Kajiado, Uhuru Kenyatta here emerged victorious, 138,851 votes, 52% of the total votes cast in Kajiado County. Raila Odinga, 117,856 votes, 44% of the votes cast. And that is what we are seeking to ask you on our Twitter poll question this evening. We're asking you, do you think the Maasai land counties of Kajiado and Narok can be classified as battleground or swing votes? Tell us what you think. Text us or tweet us at Ben_Kitili at KTN News. The hashtag is Choice2017. Let's now bring in our guests on the program tonight. That is Kajiado West Member of Parliament Moses Ole Sakuda and Narok Senatorial aspirant Olekina, Ledama Olekina, not new to you, none of them new to you. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on the program tonight. Thanks for coming all the way from Narok.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Let me start with you. What's happening in Narok? What is your take on these political defections?
The people of Narok have already spoken. It is very clear that the Jubilee government has been a total disgrace to the people of Narok. So the people of Narok have all shifted. They've all moved. And as you rightly said, most of the people voted for URP in the last election. What actually had happened then is that people had voted for individuals. But now, I can assure you here, Ben, that URP or Jubilee would probably only get 1 seat, if any. The governor will be on a NASA ticket, the senator will be on a NASA ticket, and the entire, and Raila Amolo Odinga, or whoever the candidate is going to be for NASA, is going to sweep Narok by 70-30. And you can mark my word on
70-30. That would be a big difference from what happened in 2013.
It's a big difference because if you look at the economy of Narok, it's an industrious economy. We've got a lot of resources, but those resources are only going to one individual, you know? I mean, the level of corruption is massive. If you look at this, nothing that has been done in Narok that can actually give people of Narok the reason to vote for Jubilee. So the people of Narok are disgruntled. They're upset, and the only way to show that they are really pissed off is by using the ballot.
All right. Mheshimiwa, we'll talk about Kajiado, but in Narok, your party, Jubilee, has been under very harsh indictment in Narok. What do you think about what's happening?
I disagree with my good friend, Ledama Olekina. What we saw today in Narok was not about Jubilee and NASA. In my view, what we saw today in Narok was what we always call politics are local. Why didn't my good friend, Honorable Patrick Olentutu, why did he not defect to a NASA-friendly party or an ODM party? Why did he choose to go on a CCM ticket? Secondly, who are the guests? You saw Honorable Isaac Ruto, and you saw Honorable Gideon Moi. What did Kanu say just 2 days ago? Who are they supporting?
So you think
President Uhuru
Olentutu will be supporting Uhuru Kenyatta?
Absolutely. And that is something that we will come. I'm not saying that we have talked or there's a, but it is politics going local. In Maasai, they say, there's a saying in Maasai that says, Yani, take hold of your soul, I take hold of mine. What Patrick today did was that, of course, there are challenges within the belief of the internal structures of nominations that are, upcoming in April. And it's not just in Maasai land, it's all over Kenya. People are moving left, right, center. Others are moving out of NASA to Jubilee. Others are moving from Jubilee to smaller parties. So it looks like the most to me, the beneficiaries of those seats that he's saying that it will be 70-30 would actually be the smaller parties.
I totally disagree. I think Mheshimiwa Sakuda should stick to Kajiado politics. Narok politics. I just arrived from Narok.
Why should I?
Let me tell you.
Maasai.
I just arrived from Narok.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
Let's stick it.
Sorry, I totally forgot.
Maasai.
So here's the thing.
Right.
I just got back from Narok,
yes.
and I can tell you, everyone who was there is a NASA candidate or is a NASA supporter.
So I'll
tell you something.
Are you telling us,
I can tell.
Are you telling us, No. Are you disputing Ledama?
Yes, I am. Absolutely. Gideon said he's supporting Uhuru. Gideon said he's supporting Uhuru as a person.
Sakuda, what do you think of the fact that Kanu said they will be supporting the re-election of President Uhuru Kenyatta rather than they will be supporting Jubilee?
Now, who is Jubilee? You cannot exclude
Jubilee is
the
William
head.
Ruto and
President
Uhuru Kenyatta.
You cannot exclude the head. Start getting in there and saying that Uhuru is, and then you have Ruto there, and then who is Jubilee?
Come on. But Gideon just said himself. Gideon said, Uhuru, you come and look for votes. So let me tell you, I was in that meeting. I'm a NASA person. And I went, my message was very clear.
When did you move to NASA?
I've always been an ODM, my friend. I told the Maasais, I came here as an ODM person for NASA. I'm telling CCM, please,
all right,
come to NASA. It's much more friendly to you. You know, what we are seeing, we have to be factual, okay? When you look at everything that Jubilee promised, they have failed. They promised 1 million jobs, they didn't deliver. They promised computers for every school. I was in a place called Olashaiki a few days ago in Transmara. There's no electricity. The school in Olashaiki is just sort of like a madhouse.
All right.
That's where the kids are. So no one is going to go to Jubilee.
Let's combine the two counties. What do you think is the position of the Maasai community in terms of the 2017 elections?
The reason I was saying, Ben, about politics going local, if you look at the choice of CCM for Honorable Patrick Ntutu,
yes,
his calculations and his numbers are, in Narok County, you've got the Maasai vote, and you've got the Kipsigis votes.
Right.
And his choice of cards, it's all on the table. His choice of cards is that if I go to a friendly, more Kipsigis party, I would be able to beat Honorable His Excellency, the Governor, Ole Tunai.
All right.
Actually, it's more of, and that's why I'm saying, instead of us looking at the whole, let's remember there are those nitty-gritties. But having said that, and you can take this to the bank, come 8th of August 2017, a majority of the Maasais will vote for Jubilee.
Absolutely.
And if Ledama says Jubilee have failed, I disagree. I want to tell you, let me say why. In Narok, not even Kajiado.
All right.
The current NASA, you are aspirant for governor, former PS Tiampati, ran on a KNC ticket for Peter Kenneth. And Jubilee government did not consider that he was in another party and brought him on board. And they gave him a job.
No.
All right.
Absolutely.
Let me just respond to that, please.
Right. Yes.
The reason why Tiampati was given a job is because the narrow gubernatorial seat was stolen. We went to court. I went to court. I ran for governor. I went to court with Musuni and Goitoi. They decided to use divide and rule, which is the same thing they use even in Narok and Kajiado, zoning the area, Jubilee TNA or URP TNA. He was not given a job because they liked him. They gave him a job because they wanted to make sure that the stronger candidate in the case gets out of the way. Right. And I'll tell you one thing. Mheshimiwa Sakuda just said that when you look at Jubilee, Jubilee has done so much in Narok. They have done zero. Look at Maasai Mara. Let us be factual. Maasai Mara is one of our largest foreign income generating project in this country. Look at the road. The road is pathetic. That's a national road. It is not a county government road. So he can't sit here and tell us Jubilee has done anything in Narok.
All right.
We have to call a spade a spade.
Why would you say, and I'll ask you the same, Mheshimiwa, why would you say is the reason why Narok County politics have been so divisive over the last 4 or so years?
I can tell you, I think there's been an issue of superiority complex. We've got an issue of clanism in Narok. We've got 7 clans. We've got the Pruko, who are the majority. They command about 130,000 votes, or plus, maybe 140,000 votes. Patrick Ndutu and Musuni, who are the strongest candidates, but they have split the Purko vote.
Absolutely.
Okay? But now, I can assure you that the person who will win will be a NASA candidate. Because I am not comfortable sitting here and saying that even CCM is very comfortable in Jubilee. Nick Salat said, tuko ndani kabisa.
Do you think people of Narok will not vote on clanism?
No,
and
this time around, I'll tell you something. We had an electoral college that decided, we let the Pruko decide who is going to be their candidate for governor. I'm from one of the smallest clans. We told them, go decide one. So even today, we still tell the Pruko, get your shit together. Excuse my French. Get your act together. You know, make sure that you have this seat. And I can assure you that before August of this year, a Pruko will win the gubernatorial seat in Narok.
All right. All right.
Ben, I want to say something. My good friend Ledama was a governor aspirant in 2013.
Yes.
Together with Tiampati, together with Engineer Joy, who is right now, and he dare says Jubilee has done nothing to Narok. Who is the the CEO and MD right now of GDC, the biggest geothermal development company in this country and in the whole of East Africa? It is Engineer Olenchoy. He is from Narok. He is from Pruko.
He's a Jubilee psychopath.
Let me tell you, and you can take this to the bank. Narok will be won by a Jubilee government.
Oh, never.
Let me ask
you know why I'm saying that?
Yes.
Right now, the populous Pruko that he has just talked about have 2 candidates. They have Ole Musuni, and today, my good friend, Mheshimiwa Ntutu, who I respect very much, because he's my colleague in Parliament.
So you think they're going to split the vote?
They are going to split the vote. Take back to the bank.
By August 8th, they will not split the vote. I can assure you one thing. You know, I wish my brother here would stick to Kajiado politics. Narok decides what happens. You know, you saw the way we dealt with Jubilee money when we were fighting for Memusi. Okay, we went there. We said we're all going there. I'm from a clan called El Damat. It's a small clan. But they're the ones who are the swing vote in Kajiado.
So why did you come to Kajiado?
I went to Kajiado to make sure that we had someone who cares about the future of the Maasai.
Let me ask you this, Mheshimiwa. Yes. What is your take on the way, during the funeral service of the late William Ole Ntimama, what is your reaction, or what is your take on the way the President Uhuru Kenyatta was received and the way Raila Odinga was received with a kind of hero's welcome in Narok?
My take on that was that was a stage that was organized.
No.
We have intelligence that there were some young people who were ferried and they were brought to the funeral so that they can clap for Raila as he comes. Let me say something. If Honorable Raila honored Ole Ntimama, why did he not make sure that he followed the funeral service up to the grave, up to the burial? Why did he have to leave instead of burying his good friend?
No, I think we're being very petty when we focus on that. I think I'll respond to why Raila was received, you know, with a lot of, what do you call it?
Enthusiasm.
Yes.
He was received because he has always stood firm and fought for the rights of the Maasai people.
I disagree with that.
I'll tell you why. Uhuru, I can tell you this, and I don't want to contradict without fear of contradiction. Maasai people have got nothing against Uhuru. They really don't have anything against Uhuru. But they have a big problem with his deputy, William Ruto.
All right. Well, let's take a break on that note. When we return, I want us to talk about the issue of the Mau Forest Complex, which analysts say was the reason why Raila Odinga lost the elections in 2013. As after this quick commercial break here on Choice 2017, many thanks for staying with us. We're talking about Maasai land politics. Don't go too far.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you. Let me tell you.